Hi, I'm Bill McConnell. This is the Doing Stuff Daily Podcast, episode 41. Fear is an illusion.
Doing Stuff Daily is your pathway for positive change through daily habits that shape your life. Transform your world one habit at a time, one day at a time, to make a personal impact with your family, your business, and your life.
That's right. Fear is an illusion, and I am very sad to tell you this, but it is a true confession. I have lived most of my life being afraid of things, being afraid of people, just being afraid. And it's just in the past couple of years, I've seen just how absolutely ludicrous, how stupid it has been for me to be afraid of certain things. It's just crazy. Fear is just something in my mind, and I've allowed it to control too much of my life. I grew up in fear. I was taught by my father more than anything else. My father taught me how to be afraid for no reason. Be afraid of this, be afraid of so many things, just being afraid. It's just something that I know he's taught me, and it's something that has stuck with me up until just the last couple of years. Absolutely crazy for me to be afraid. And when I came across this truth, it just kind of clicked with me even more that fear is just an illusion. There is no reason to hold back. There is no reason to fear what other people think, what other people say, even what other people do to you to a very large extent. Fearing rejection, feeling embarrassment, things we just absolutely have no reason to fear. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about phobias. I have a fear of heights. I have a Jeep Wrangler modified, and we take it to the mountains every year, and sometimes we get on some back trails that are very, there's no guardrails. Let's just put it that way. You've got a mountain going up on the one side and mountain going down on the other side, and if you drive too close to the mountain going down on the other side, then you're going to die. And that's a very real fear. Some people have a paralyzing fear of heights and a paralyzing fear of some other things. And I'm not necessarily talking about that. I have learned to a great extent how to control my fear of heights. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about whatever it is that holds you back internally. You play the what if game. What if this happens? What if that happens? And you start to fear the things that you think are going to happen, and they're not. I'm not going to be afraid of something until I get to a point where I know it's real. Like the cliff is real. My possibility of going over the cliff is very, very real. But until that happens, I'm not going to fear it. I'm not going to allow fear anymore to control my life. Some people will watch some of these videos and listen to my podcast, and they will laugh and think it's just an absolute joke that I'm even trying something like this. That's just too bad. I don't fear your rejection. The very first book I wrote, in the very first weekend that it went live, the very first comment I got on Amazon was a guy that just ripped it apart, gave me like a 1 star. My very first review ever on Amazon. And I got 1 star, and he just said, blah, blah, blah this and blah, blah, blah that. And I'm thinking, like an idiot, I responded to him and tried to defend myself, which is the last thing I needed to do. But then I thought about it. I'm allowing somebody who I don't know, interestingly enough, was anonymous. He used a pseudonym name, or he used a name that wasn't his. It was like blah, blah, blah man or blah, blah, blah person, something like that. So it wasn't really him. There was no picture of him. I have no idea who it was. It was just somebody on there just trolling, and it just had to be the first one to rip my book apart. I never would have put the book out there had I feared people like that are going to rip it apart. I could care less at this point. Like it, don't like it, buy it, don't buy it. It doesn't matter. I do not fear anonymous people making anonymous comments about me. Whereas 5, even 6 years ago, I would be totally afraid. I'm afraid to put it out there because I'm afraid that people are going to laugh at it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Fear is an illusion. It happens just in your mind, and you need to get over it because it is stopping you from becoming the person you want to be. Fear is holding you back from being better. Fear is holding you back from being the best version of yourself that you can be, that you will be, that you want to be. So live beyond the concept of fear. Be fearless. Choose to live fearlessly and choose to get over the what if syndrome. What if this happens? Doesn't matter. What if that happens? Doesn't matter. Stop allowing the what ifs to control your action and your attitude toward what is coming up in your own future. Live fearlessly. It doesn't matter what other people think. And one of the biggest fears, and you see it all the time on Facebook and on social media, one of the biggest fears that people have is fear of being rejected or fear of looking foolish. That's why we get the best versions of ourselves on Facebook. That's not really us. We get everybody's best versions because nobody's going to post the crappy stuff. Nobody's going to post the bad stuff. They just want to post the good stuff because they're trying to be somebody that they're not. Some people fear being themselves, and don't be that person. Be yourself. Be you fearlessly. Do not be ashamed. Do not fear what other people think. It just doesn't matter. Be yourself. Be you. And be you fearlessly. Move forward fearlessly. Go after those dreams fearlessly. Go after that stuff. Whatever that stuff is, go after it fearlessly. It doesn't matter what other people think. Fear is an illusion. It's not going to happen. The thing that pops up in your mind that you think is going to happen and that you fear the most, 90-something% of the time, just isn't going to happen. So don't let it. I'm Bill McConnell, Doing Stuff Daily.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Doing Stuff Daily. Let Bill give you this free resource based on Bill's current book. Download this 3-part Conquer What's Next blueprint at doingstuffdaily.com/follow-up. Join us for the next episode. Don't forget to tell a friend. Take a moment and drop in at iTunes to give this podcast the rating you feel it deserves. Be careful. Listening to this podcast could become a weekly habit.